Hi everyone, my name is Federico. I'm one of the co-founders of Evmos. Evmos is, first of all, Evmos is an EVM blockchain that is running on top of Cosmos. The main selling point of Evmos is it's an EVM enabled, an IVC enabled EVM um, that is fully interoperable with the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem and the rest of the Ethereum ecosystem. What this allows us is to onboard all the Ethereum mindset and all the Ethereum developers to the rest of the interchain and the Cosmos ecosystem. We're working super hard towards launch, which is next week, and we're super excited for what's to come. And we are currently working on onboarding like different bridges and infrastructure providers that will deploy on day one on Evmos. So we see Evmos as the main point of entry from all the Ethereum ecosystem into Evmos. And we've been working on different interoperability solutions that will enable like Ethereum developers to move their ERC20s to the rest of the interchain. And I want to talk a little bit about them, and then I want to talk about like the user, the different levels of incentives that we'll be announcing today with our tokenomics blog post. Um, so the main component here that we've been working is the ERC20 module. So the ERC20 module will allow Ethereum developers and Ethereum ERC20 tokens to be represented as Cosmos coins. This will enable not only additional representations, but will allow the existing ERC20 tokens already native on Ethereum to be bridged through the different bridges that we'll support on day one to Evmos and then like be converted to Cosmos coins. This basically means that all these ERC20s that live on Ethereum, Moonriver, Polygon, and AVAX can be deployed onto the EVM and then transferred to like Osmosis or Cosmos Hub. So this is a really important feature that it's already live on our incentivized testnet, and we're really excited to deploy on mainnet. What this means is that Evmos will be like the first EVM enabled IBC chain. So like will be like fully interoperable, and during this year we'll be enabling like different features that will power all the EVM and IBC functionality that we'll be deploying throughout this year. So talking now about economics and our incentives mechanisms that we'll be putting in place for mainnet is something that we had in mind is how do we incentivize three main users, validators, retail users, and developers in a way that no other EVM protocol has done it before. And our thought process was like generally user incentives drive users and for example would give tokens to these users, and then these users would spend the Evmos tokens on different applications and services, which would create different fees from not only the base layer but also to developers. And then validators would also get tokens from not only validating the network and securing the network but also from the fees. So this basically summarizes what I'm going to talk about now, which is like our three-layer incentives, which is like user incentives, developer user rewards, developer incentives, and also IVC rebates. The main one is usage rewards. So usage rewards usually in other ecosystems is in the form of DeFi grants or DeFi funds on top of liquidity. So like for all the TVL that it's deployed on different EVM based chains, there's like incentives on top to lock that TVL and get extra rewards. Osmosis also introduced like the concept of the liquidity rewards and also like the staking of these rewards. So what we'll be doing is through a governance proposal, like users would get more incentives by using these different smart contracts. So like by using like the everyday applications, they can get usage incentives, and we are the first protocol that will implement this directly on the core service. The second one is the first introduction of the Dopp Store. So how we thought about this is how do we make it so that developers actually earn money earn gas tokens through transaction fees. So that's how we enabled like the fee token to be split between validators and developers so that they can also be aligned with the protocol by getting this reward. So validators now can register their contracts and start getting transaction fees from every transaction of users that interact with these contracts. So this is like the first natively implemented on a protocol like decentralized application store that we'll be introducing on mainnet launch in a few weeks. And finally, we also didn't want to leave out relayers. We think relayers are core, like part of the Cosmos ecosystem, because they drive the liquidity for all the different chains, and they're really important to relay messages, keep the clients connected, and keep the connections up to date so that the clients don't freeze. So we wanted to enable on day one relayer rebates so that the transactions that they have to send to each corresponding chain that they connect to in order to perform the Merkle proofs for the transactions can be rebated. So that's one of the main selling points here is relayers will have their fees rebated. So going back to the summary is we'll be enabling user incentives for users that will give more Evmos tokens to these users that interact with the contracts. Users, once they receive these Evmos tokens every week or every day, depending on the parameters, would use these Evmos tokens on more services and applications. The developers that register their token contracts will get the transaction fees from these users, which will drive up TVL, and validators will vote on incentives as well to create more growth and create more usage. So it's a cycle that drives usage and drives TVL on Evmos. So we're really excited to enable these functionality, and we'll be providing more details in our tokenomic post that is coming shortly after this event. Finally, I wanted to end with the Evmos Drop, which is the first implementation of a gas drop, which will reward not only Cosmos liquidity providers and Cosmos stakers, but will also allocate tokens to Ethereum users according to the gas they have spent on different applications. And we're also the first ones to incentivize early contributors to the project. So we're allocating tokens to all the different developers that have ever contributed to different dependencies that Evmos uses, but also to past contributors of the Ethermint project. Rect users that have been subject to different vulnerabilities in Ethereum will also be rewarded. And you can check the eligibility on our blog post. But in case you want to check it quick, here's a quick summary slide with all the different eligibility for Cosmos, Osmosis, Ethereum based on gas, bridges, and MEV users as well, MEV reg users. So reg for MEV, EIP 1559, and different security vulnerabilities on Ethereum. Yeah, and if you want to know more about the project, I invite you to follow us on Twitter and go to our website where you can find useful links for the Discord and also for our developer documentation.